Howdy, boys and girls, and welcome back to week 4 of the college football season. You have found your way back to the Carla and Crappy show. I am Crappy. I'm in Pittsburgh. I had a decent college football weekend. I didn't get nearly as many things right this last week as I did the week before. And we'll talk about some of those. Carla in Nashville. Carla, this is an odd weekend for the two of us because our primary big boy rooting interests both have weeks off.
Yes.
How are you going to suffer through or take advantage of this situation?
Well, it's a perfect weekend for my beloved to have a bye week because it is homecoming.
Yes. Okay.
At MTSU, so I will be able to enjoy my day Saturday with the festivities and everything going on campus, and just be able to keep an ancillary eye on what's going on.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is nice. It's nice to not have that pressure of like, wait, what's the Penn State score? So that's nice to be able to do that. It's also Ellie's birthday weekend, if you can believe that.
And she's like 12 by now.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, she's 16. No, she's gonna be 4.
That's fantastic.
Ellie's going to be 4 on Sunday, so we're going to have a little family thing this weekend. So I've got a lot going on this weekend. So
nice.
This is the perfect week for a bye for me. So thank you, Penn State football gods, for giving me a bye week this week because I needed it.
Excellent.
How about you? Are you going to do anything fun?
I don't know. I did not go to the CMU game last weekend. As I mentioned to you guys, I got the double jab in my arm on Friday and was feeling a little oogie on Saturday. So I just stayed home and watched on TV. The possibility remains. Courtney Mellon is at home again this weekend. Something I will tell you about you guys later. So that's a maybe. We may just stay home and watch games. We may not stay home and not watch games. We don't know. One interesting thing that I'm going to suggest to Mrs. Crappy. We are both in a Sunday fantasy football league organized by our nephew Drew, who has been on this program when he was playing football at Cornell University. Kelly and I are in first place. But we're the only two teams that are undefeated on the very young season so far. And Kelly is actually holding on to the number 1 spot because she has outscored. She has total more points than anybody else, and by a lot. So we play each other this weekend. Okay. What I may actually suggest to her is that she has a rare weekend off. I may suggest that we go do stuff on Saturday, and then stay home and watch Red Zone on Sunday and keep up with our fantasy teams.
Okay.
I think that could be fun. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But so going to CMU is a possibility. TV is a possibility. Looking at my phone once in a while is a possibility. We'll see. We'll see. It's gonna be good.
I remember the life-changing moment when my husband no longer was a sports journalist, and the first Saturday that we both were not working, we actually went to a bar for brunch and watched football and had beverages. And we were like, this is weird. This is cool.
That would be it would be an adjustment, number 1. It would be a little odd. But once you settled in, and I would be like, if I finish my first Bloody Mary and the world is not crumbling, and I'm like, oh, this is nice. I like this.
Yeah, no, I was on bottomless mimosas that day, and it was like, that was. We made it all the way through the noon slate. Like we didn't stay all day. We started the noon games and went all the way through the noon games, and we're like, okay, let's go do something else. I think actually we ended up going home and watching more football, but like still, it was just lovely. It's lovely when you get some freedom in those things.
So we'll see how this weekend goes. It's nice I'm looking forward to having a nice kind of low stress weekend. Ohio State starts conference play on the road next week, and there's a game in Happy Valley that I'm sure we're going to spend a lot of time talking about
Oh yeah.
next week. This show, however, let's begin by looking back to the weekend that we just finished, as we always do. And what got your attention from all the fun stuff last weekend?
So much stuff. I mean,
There's a lot.
there's
There's a lot.
so there was a fun weekend. But the first thing I have to say is college kickers and special teams, man.
Ooh.
That was a storyline, and a lot of games play a role in arguably the two biggest games of the weekend. Tennessee. You know, you had a chance to break the streak.
Yeah.
You had a chance to break the streak. Kick sails wide. And you knew if that game was going to overtime, Georgia was going to figure out a way to win that football game. And
Yes.
that's
Kirby's going to call timeout every
Right.
single and all that. Yes.
although they did change that rule, but
I
you
know.
but we didn't get that far
Yeah. Yeah.
into overtime. Georgia didn't need it, so that one stung a little bit, particularly for the locals around here. And then on the other side, Notre Dame, the bad hold on the PAT, and like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Nothing.
Yeah.
Just a tough situation.
And Texas A&M wins that game by a point. And like, it was one of those things, like, you kind of knew that was going to happen with the way that game had been going. And I admit that I turned that game on late because I was watching a quad box with 4 other games. And I couldn't find a quad box that had NBC in it. That's the one downside about YouTube TV. Like, they don't put NBC in quad boxes, which is annoying.
Yes.
But so I was too busy. I had too many other games that I was watching, and I was like, okay, I'll catch the end of the Notre Dame Texas A&M game. And I mean, heck of a win for Texas A&M, considering everything that happened in that game. For them to come around and win that game in the fourth quarter like that, I mean, that's a storybook win for them. We'll see how Notre Dame responds. Interestingly enough, they're 0-2. They're still nationally ranked, which is interesting.
Interesting is a word for it.
Yeah. It's like, I think somebody posted today, it was only the 5th time ever that a team that had gone 0-2 is still in the top 25. So we'll see how things play out for them.
Notre Dame gets the benefit of the doubt.
They do.
We have talked about this before. I'm actually they're in a position where running the table may not be enough.
Yeah.
If the schedule stays as it is and their opponents' rankings stay as it is.
Yeah.
They've got Florida State. Maybe they hope Southern Cal breaks into the top 25 before they play, and they're playing early this season. I forget when, but it's midway through the season instead of the end.
Yeah.
They need some help. I really think that.
I agree. On the other side of that college kickers coin,
Yes.
the nerds shall inherit the earth, friends. We have a ranked Georgia Tech and a ranked Vandy this week. and one of them is because of a kick.
Yeah.
You know, that Georgia Tech walk-off. What an amazing series of plays.
You mentioned in our text thread the clock management on Tech's last possession, and it was absolutely perfect.
It was.
You get they had no timeouts. One last play, and they had the fire drill down just like that. No one's freaking out.
Yep.
Just handled it perfectly.
Yeah, and I mean, and for Aiden Bird to hit a career long, a 55-yarder, calm as can be.
Here you go, kid.
Yeah,
no
rock
pressure.
solid, right down the middle. Like, it wasn't even like veering. Like, it was right down the middle. What a scene in Atlanta for that game. That is, I will credit both of you called that win.
That is the one thing I got right.
Yeah. You both got that one right, and I hesitated because I was like, I'm not sure I'm there yet, and now I am sold on Georgia Tech.
Nice.
And we thought about that at the beginning of the year. They could be a real interesting team, and they're going to be a real interesting team. And then, of course, credit to Vandy clearing another stadium in the fourth quarter.
Oof. And
that was a huge streak break too.
Yeah.
That, like, South Carolina had won at least 11 straight. It might be 13.
Okay.
because that was a huge deal. I went to church on Sunday, and of course, our church, for those of you that are new to the podcast, my church is directly across the street from
Yeah.
Vanderbilt.
Hmm.
Right. So when the goalposts went down to the river, they literally went right past church. But a bunch of alums are in the choir with me. And so we were talking about it. I was like, hey, nice win last night. And a couple of them said, yeah, I was not turning that game off until the clock had triple zeros on it, because there have been so many times where that game has just gone
Yes.
south. Of course, also there were lots of jokes about eating fried chicken, but we won't go there. So, but so it was a
Nashville
fun-
hot chicken. There you
Nashville
go.
hot chicken. There you go. Some other things that I noticed last weekend. I mean, those were the big storylines, right? How about teams from Arkansas giving ranked opponents fits?
The Arkansas's game was it Arkansas Ole Miss. That
Yes.
game was fun. Oh
That
man,
game
that
was
was fun.
real fun. Woo Pig hangs with Ole Miss, which was not entirely unexpected. But the thing that was unexpected, how about Arkansas State
Yeah.
giving Iowa State like a legit road test? That game ended 24-16, but the Red Wolves actually led 10-9 in the second quarter and came within a point in the fourth. They were down to 17-16 in the fourth quarter. Not expecting that this week.
File that similar to scheduling a Dakota or a Montana. File that under. Don't do that. If you're a Power Four team, don't. Why are you going to Arkansas State? Don't do that.
Well, and Arkansas State gave Arkansas
Yes.
problems the week before, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe the lesson here is just don't go play in Arkansas. That's just avoid both of those teams in general, if you can.
Gotcha.
A quick note on Florida LSU. Florida did it again. LSU won that football game. But early in that game, I can't remember if it was in the first quarter. It was in the first quarter, I think. And Lagway hits that wide open receiver for a huge touchdown that gets called back on a hold. Everything shifted after that call. I mean, you could see it was just kind of like oh no, not again.
Here it comes.
And then they never got going again.
Yeah.
The offense, it was that holding call. Because they would have been up 10-0 had that touchdown stood. And Florida's done.
With that schedule, yeah.
Florida's done. I hate to say that.
I don't see a win on that schedule for a while.
Yeah.
And they will probably pull one out. But it is not looking good.
No. And that's probably my biggest disappointment so far this season. And then just a quick run through my fandoms real quick. Yes. I had an excellent week for my fandoms. Obviously Penn State was not a surprise. To be honest, neither was since you're going to start including Carnegie Mellon, I'm going to start including Robert Morris every week now. Because AJ and I went there. So Robert Morris won big over West Liberty. That wasn't entirely unexpected either for the home opener. But the thing that was unexpected, if you weren't paying attention to this game, you missed it, because I lost track of the score because it was right around Ellie's bedtime. And I went, wait, we won that game? MTSU comes back in the fourth quarter and beats Nevada in Reno, 14-13.
Impressive.
It was a heck of a comeback. They were down 13-0 in the fourth. They scored a touchdown with 6 minutes to play, and then a walk-off touchdown at the very end of the game to win that game 14-13. And let me tell you, that was a win that Middle needed coming home for homecoming to face Marshall.
Yes.
Because we got Marshall this week for homecoming. So what a win for them. And they sang the fight. So if you want to see funny video, go look at the MTSU football Instagram.
Okay.
They totally tried to sing the fight song in the locker room, and it was probably the funniest thing I've ever heard. Football players can't sing. But it was awesome. It was an awesome celebration, and I think it's going to really help the atmosphere this week at homecoming, because, I mean, let's be real, there was no momentum at all around the football program. Especially after their only home game being a complete blowout to Austin Peay. We're starting to see some excitement and some momentum around the homecoming festivities now, so that's a good thing for campus. So, way to go, Middle. Let's do it again this week.
As it should be. That's in any world, that is a quality win.
It is over a Mountain West opponent.
Yeah. So great job, Blue Raiders. My fandoms collided, as we discussed a week ago. So it made my TV viewing a lot less complicated.
Yeah.
Bobcats and Buckeyes, all in the same stadium. I did just to kind of do what I would normally do. We'll start with the guys in the red shirts. They were a bit flat in the first half. Only mustered a 10-point lead at halftime. Julian Sand got some extra attention from Ryan Day for some missed reads, but he still did not have a bad day. There were 2 picks, yes. Also a 300 plus and 3 touchdowns. Okay, we're good. That's going to work every time. The 2 standouts for the guys in the red shirts, Ohio State's defense just almost completely shut down a difficult to handle Ohio Bobcat offense. And as I mentioned a week ago, Bo Jackson, freshman tailback Bo Jackson, 109 yards on just 9 carries against the Bobcats. Jeremiah Smith said this after the game about Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson is that guy. All you need to know. We are going to see more of him, and I think a lot as the season goes on. The guys in the white jerseys, my Bobcats, acquitted themselves, I think, pretty well.
Yeah.
Ohio State's offense was a bit unsteady at the outset, and OU's defense really took advantage. Ohio State's first drive ended in a turnover on downs. OU held Ohio State to 2 field goals in the next 2 drives. And as I said, the halftime scores, you look at that and you're like, whoa, what's going on here? The offense, it faced a buzzsaw, and Navarro did suffer some kind of hand injury that kept him out during the second quarter. He did finish the game and actually threw a really long touchdown pass that got OU some more points in the second half. Here's the thing, I'm going to say something really stupid, really outlandish, but I'm going to put it out there. OU looks good this season. They have a power 4 win. If they stay healthy, OU I think is good enough to run the table through the MAC from this point forward. You do that and you get a conference title. And I'm wondering. I think that at least has to put OU in the conversation. Tulane looks fantastic, and AJ's brought that up, and they are already in a better position than OU is with 2 P4 wins. But I think that would be enough to put OU in the conversation for that G5 playoff bid. So we'll see. Just putting it out there. Just putting it out there.
Tulane's got a big one this week that I know AJ has his eye on.
Yes.
On the road at Ole Miss. That's gonna be a real interesting game to pay attention.
That'll be fun.
To. Yeah.
That will be fun. I did want to mention the Georgia Tech Clemson game. I'm going to look at it from the opposite perspective. There aren't many quarterbacks of his experience who are capable of doing this, but Cade Klubnik manages to look more uncomfortable with each passing game of the 2025 season. And I cannot figure it out. His stats are they're not miserable, but for a guy of his experience, they ain't good. And it's not, but it's not that. It's not just the numbers. You look at him, and he just does not look like he is settled. Does not look like he's comfortable at all. And I didn't really see that in the game against Georgia Tech one bit. And then 2 things. Picked both of these wrong. They were both awesome. You mentioned Georgia Tennessee. Basically, that's an instant classic game. That was a fantastic one. And if I was wearing a hat, I would take it off to RichRod right now. He was super emotional after the game. But the Backyard Brawl and West Virginia winning that one, sending Pitt back up by 79 with a loss. RichRod was clearly happy to be back home and happy to be playing in that rivalry again. So that was very cool to see.
Yeah. Well, and we got the news last week, right after our show dropped, actually, that the Backyard Brawl has been extended.
Yes. Yes.
Add another 4 years to the 4 years that we talked about last week. So we're going to have 8 straight years of the Backyard Brawl starting in what, 29? I think that is.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. So, one more year, and then we have to
Couple
wait
years
a bit, and then there's a couple years off, and then 8 straight years of the Backyard Brawl. Love it.
That is fantastic. AJ can't be with us live this week, but through the magic of the internet and computers and all those things, he's right here. And he is going to take us through a G5/late night slate that, and I don't want no spoilers, but it includes a heavy dose of Pac-12 nostalgia, which I know AJ is going to be happy about. AJ, what you got?
Hello, everyone. It is the Week 4 Group of 5 After Dark report. We had a really fun week last week, and I feel fairly confident in saying, I was right about things. I was also wrong about the Florida Gators, and for that, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I got people's hopes up, really. I really wanted to see Brian Kelly really take a tumble off of losing to Billy Napier after they just lost to USF, and also, hey, USF, we had a good run, but this ain't it anymore. Let's get into our Group of 5 report here, though. And we start at noon with a game that one of these teams should not be playing and a game that the other team deeply looks forward to. That's right, at noon on ABC, we have Arkansas at Memphis. Arkansas is favored by 7.5. The fun index is 62.5. Arkansas, what are you doing playing Memphis? Like, I get that they're local, and you want to do recruiting things, and you got fans who live in Memphis. One of my coworkers lives in Memphis. He is a Arkansas Razorbacks fan. Hey, Rob, if you found this podcast, I hope you enjoy it. But this is something where, Ole Miss and Arkansas do this. They're both local to Memphis. They've been playing Memphis for a very, very long time. Y'all, why are you doing that? This seems like a really terrible idea, I guess is what I'm saying. So, Arkansas last week put a scare into Ole Miss. They almost won. They lost to Ole Miss 41-35 in Oxford. Here's the thing about Ole Miss right now, and Arkansas in particular. We'll get to Ole Miss in a moment. Arkansas is going to put up points. They're going to put up yards. Taylon Green is so damn fun. He is very KJ Jefferson-esque right now, where they're asking him to run a lot. He had 14 carries for 115 yards and also 22 completions for 305 yards last week. They're asking him to do a lot, and I think Ole Miss kind of won off of backup quarterback just being a new player who stepped up and stepped into the role, and there's no film on him. But I think this is really, really interesting that Arkansas put up 500 yards of offense in that game. I think this is they got it down to a touchdown game with 5 minutes left and just never really was able to get it past there. I think this is a big moment for Arkansas. I think they're going to want to maybe put up some big numbers on a team that normally would take them out at the knees. And Memphis is going to want to make a little bit of a statement. Memphis has played okay this year. I believe they're 2-0, but this is where we see a shift overall. Memphis beat the lights out of Troy. They beat the lights out of Georgia State, and then they beat UT Chattanooga. So this is their first real test before they go into the actual American schedule. But they beat 2 Sun Belt teams, and if they can knock off an SEC team, you might need to put Memphis up there with Tulane, and that Memphis Tulane game needs to get circled on November 7th. So we'll just keep that one in mind. Moving down to 3 p.m. on the Big Ten Network, as God intended. It's the Civil War. Oregon State heads to Autzen to play Oregon. Oregon is favored by a very, very healthy 35.5. The fun index on this game is 56.5. Oregon State, y'all, it's everything's kind of broken right now, I guess I would say. They're just straight up not having a good time. They brought in Malik Murphy as a transfer quarterback. He was at Texas, and then he went to Duke, and now he's at Oregon State. And they just don't have an offensive line. It's really what it comes down to. They have not looked good in their opening games, and Oregon has looked incredibly good. They brought a Montana school in and then destroyed them. They had Oklahoma State come into town, and I feel like it was, hey, we're going to go play the orange and black team and just beat the lights out of them because it'll make us feel good. And they won 69-3. I think Oregon's going to want to put a little stamp on this because it's a rivalry game. It's the in-state rival. It's the long-time rivalry. It's 3 p.m. Eastern. So this is a noon kickoff in September. There's no fog. There's no like weird, like wintry November things that have happened in this game before. I think Oregon's going to roll here. Like this is not going to be close, and it might get really cringe-inducing. At 3:30 p.m. On ESPN, we have Tulane at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is favored by 11.5. Fun Index is a healthy 61.5. The reason this game, this is kind of the same thing as the Arkansas-Memphis game. Ole Miss, what are you doing scheduling Tulane? Like, I get that they're local and you've played each other and you were conference mates at one point. Kids, look it up. Tulane was in the SEC very, very long time ago. Don't ask what happened after that. The short version is the president of the school decided sports weren't important. And so they cut the scholarships and they kind of fell out of the SEC. Ole Miss is doing something silly here. Because for everything that Arkansas was offensively, that's what Tulane is defensively. Tulane's defense is mean. That wave means business. When it's shaking his little fist, that's the defense. I don't think Ole Miss has played a good defense yet this year. Like Arkansas does not also appear to have one. So I think that number for Ole Miss is too high. I still think they win. I still think Ole Miss is going to get the win. They are a more talented team, but boy, Tulane's going to beat them down. This is almost Stanford postulate. This isn't almost like, oh, hey, you're like a body blow theory type of thing where it's like, actually, I'm going to look this up real fast. I did not have this in my notes. I'm just going to check this just for grins and giggles and for fun and merriment as I flip through who does Ole Miss play after Tulane. Oh, no, they play LSU. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You're going to get absolutely beat down by Tulane, and then you host LSU. Uh-oh. So just, keep that in mind. I think Tulane keeps this way closer than 11.5, but I don't think they win. That's at ESPN. At 7:30 p.m. on CBS proper, not the Network of Champions, not CBS Sports Network, none of those things. Full CBS. We have Washington at Washington State. That's right. Apple Cup is nationally televised on CBS. Washington is favored by 20.5, and the Fun Index is 53.5. And the reason why Washington is favored by 20.5 is because everybody watched Washington State last week. Well, everybody being me, watched them go to Denton, Texas, to play North Texas, and forget how the game of football worked. It was like they didn't know how it worked. They were making the dumbest turnovers, the dumbest special team mistakes. North Texas could literally do no wrong. Washington State was, I'm just going to look this up because I need the stats from this game. How many turnovers did they have? Washington State had 5 turnovers, and they were doing okay on third down. They just could not do anything. Like, anytime something was going well for them, it would just, boop, fall apart. Quarterback threw 3 picks. That's not going to work out for you. They literally could not do anything right. It looked like they forgot how to football. So I see this as being, that's where that line's really coming from. But also Washington, because they've been on the Big Ten network at like dark 30. They've played Colorado State and they played UC Davis. I watched both of those games because I have a problem. And what I actually have is a solution, which is late night college football. Jonah Coleman is a name you are now going to hear a lot. He is the star running back for Washington. He is an absolute bowling ball of a running back. He is 5'9", 228 from Stockton, California. He is a senior, and he runs like you owe him money. It is so fun to watch him play. and he is just absolutely trucking human beings. He's played in 2 games. He has 7 touchdowns. Now, 5 of them did come against UC Davis, but just running fools over. I think this is a name you're going to want to keep an eye on. I think Washington covers here, unless Washington State goes home and figures out how football works again, because it did not look good. Let's jump into the late slate here. We got UTSA, our beloved Meeps, heading out to Colorado State. This is a really, really interesting matchup. I'm really enjoying the fact that UTSA and Colorado State doing a little, G5 cross-conference scheduling. I really enjoy that. UTSA is favored by 4.5 here. The fund index is a not bad 59.5. I'm interested to know why UTSA is favored by 4.5, because they're 1-2. They looked okay against Texas A&M. They got palindromed 42-24. And then they lost at home to a maybe good Texas State, although Texas State went to Arizona State and got their butts kicked in and sent home. So you I don't really know where that's going. So is this all based off of beating Incarnate Word 48-20? Was everybody expecting that to be a close game? I thought it was going to be a close game, but still 48-20 is healthy. Colorado State is also just kind of bad. Colorado State is not, they're not doing so hot. They're 1-1. They lost, and they looked really, really bad against Washington. They eked out a last-second win against Northern Colorado. In fact, Northern Colorado should have won that game. I think there was a really goofy call at the end of that game on a deep touchdown pass. And they kind of escaped there. So I think they see UTSA coming into town, and it's like, yeah, this is not it, Colorado State. So I think this could be interesting. That'll be on FS1. Going up the road to Boulder, 10:15 p.m. on ESPN. We have Wyoming at Colorado. Colorado's favored by 12.5. Fun index is 44.5. I'm just going to say this right now. That line is that way because Wyoming does not have a functional offense. They dragged Utah down in the mud for a while last week. That game was like 3-0, like mid-third quarter. But they have no offense to actually fire back. So I expect Colorado to roll here. I think this is also going to be an interesting test for Colorado because Wyoming does have a decent enough defense to probably slow them down, and I think they're going to try and do the same thing they did to Utah and kind of drag them down in the mud. And let's see if Dion can get them out of it. At 10:30 p.m. on CBSSN, the network of champions. That's right. We got Cal at San Diego State. Cal's favored by 12.5. Fun index is 48.5. San Diego State hires Sean Lewis from Colorado to fix the offense that they did not have when Brady Hoke was the coach there. And it turns out that Brady Hoke is in the walls, mostly because he's been there twice. It's really hard to get out. Got to be honest. I've tried a lot of cleaners. It just doesn't work. Cal is fun. They have a wonderful quarterback whose older brother, I found out last week while watching the Portland State-Hawaii game, plays quarterback for Portland State because they have a very unique Pacific Islander sounding last name. I will not be pronouncing it right now. It's a really Uyunglele situation. I got to practice it for a little bit. This is something that I think Cal fans are going to be able to show off a little bit. They look really good. They've been playing really well, and I think this is their true moment. So that'll be on CBSSN. I expect Cal to cover there. At 11 p.m. on Fox, this is a previous Big Ten Network, then Pac-12 Network game. Although this would have been, because this would have been cross-conference when this would have happened, this wouldn't be a Pac-12 Network game. But because this is now in conference game, this is the beloved Pac-12 Network slot. Michigan State goes to USC. And this will be at 11 p.m. on Fox proper, Big Fox, Big Nude Fox. USC is favored by 17.5. Fun index is 56.5. We got Spartans versus Trojans. We got internecine wars going on here. I am really interested to see how this game goes, mostly because I think Michigan State's like okay, like a little okay. They're not bad, they're not good either. I don't understand this line at 17.5. They're picking the ESPN analytics has USC has a 95% chance to win. I thought Michigan State looked really good against Boston College. Doesn't help that Boston College went to Stanford and then lost to Stanford. That does not help your cause, Boston College. I think this is really interesting. I'm wondering what Jonathan Smith is going to pull out. Because as a reminder, Jonathan Smith was a quarterback at Oregon State and was also the coach at Oregon State as they were on the rise when the Pac-12 collapsed. So he knows USC. He's played this USC team. But these are two 3-0 teams that look like they're at different levels. So I'm super interested to see where this goes. I'm probably going to take USC at home here, but would not mind Jonathan Smith taking the Sparty sword and putting it into Lincoln Riley's back. And finally, my beloved Bows, right there, midnight, on the Mountain West mobile app, playing Fresno State at home. Now, an update here on the TV schedule for Hawaii. You cannot go to the mountainwest.com or themw.com to watch the games. You cannot watch it in a browser. You can't watch it on Roku or Apple TV. There's they made a change where it was available for that 1 week, weirdly, and now it's not. So the only way to watch it is in the Mountain West mobile app. You can send it if you have an Apple TV. You can send it to your Apple TV. I have heard reports that it doesn't work with Chromecast for some reason. I think this is a sort of negotiated situation as part of their TV deal, slightly changing for this year. So it kind of stinks. I watched it on the last week's game on an iPad. Fresno State's favored by 2.5 on the island. Fun index is 47.5. Vegas, you're crazy. Fresno's gotten it together for sure. They are not the team you saw in week 0 getting absolutely annihilated by Kansas. They have figured some things out. The Bows are banged up. I don't think Micah Alejado is going to play. I honestly would not want him to play. I would like him to come back when he's truly healthy. Luke Weaver has done a really good job in his stead. What I need the offensive line to do is to stop holding. They got called for 13 penalties for 138 yards last week. They should have beaten Portland State by way more than 24-3. And I think some of this is Vegas seeing box scores and seeing just literal scoreboards and saying, you only beat Portland State 24-3. Portland State's not that good. Portland State couldn't do anything. Their quarterback was playing well on offense, but Hawaii's defense was really, really just locking everything down. Hawaii's offense couldn't get out of its own way. I'm still taking my Bows. This is the last Golden Screwdriver game, unless Fresno and Hawaii schedule an ongoing series, because next year Fresno State moves to the Pac-12. That's a thing we'll talk about next year in the week 0 to remind you of where everybody is. But Fresno's going to the new Pac-12. Hawaii's staying in the Mountain West. So this is the last Golden Screwdriver game for a while. The lore of the Golden Screwdriver is very much like a Big Ten trophy. A thing was thrown or left behind, and then it became a trophy. Looking at you, little brown jug. Golden Screwdriver, same thing. I'm taking Bows. This is, in my mind, Fresno's losing 5 points by coming to the island. Hawaii gains 5 points by being on the island. I'm taking the Bows. I would really like to see them come out and get a big win in Mountain West play and kind of show that they've solidified some of those issues on the offensive line. This has been your Group of 5 After Dark report. I'm recording this at 1 in the morning. Just in case you're wondering what After Dark is really like, it's like this. It's just me talking to myself. I'm going to send it back to Crappy and Carla in the studio.
Thank you, AJ, for your expertise in all things Group of 5 and late night football. He actually, when I said I deserve, in our text thread last week, I was up late because Ohio State played a night game. And I said, guys, I deserve applause or something because I made it up past midnight, which is a rare occurrence. AJ was like, "Don't bother me. I'm watching Hawaii. Just
right.
go to bed, Grandpa. What are you talking about?"
Well, and as you're saying that, because in that same text thread that we're sharing our inside secrets as to what we do on Saturdays when we're watching games.
Yep.
I totally forgot to mention we had a Stanford postulate this weekend.
Yes,
we totally had a Stanford postulate this weekend because Stanford beats a Boston College team that took Sparty to the ropes the week before. That's a legit win from Tree, in a game that they should not have won.
You're right. You're right.
That's the textbook definition of a Stanford postulate. So, will we get another one this season?
They're just right there. We don't know. We don't.
They're heading to the East Coast this week because they play in the ACC. I don't remember who they're playing this week, but I remembered looking at that going, "Whew, that's a big ask." Just because it's a long trip.
I'm not going to find it right off the top of my head.
Also, to follow up on AJ's report,
yes,
that late night slate is killer.
It is
this weekend. I have no idea how I'm going to be able to stay awake after being at homecoming and Ellie's birthday the next day. But there's some good games there, friends. Like if you can caffeinate.
Stanford is at Virginia. On
that's
Saturday evening, UVA is favored by 15.5. So another win there is definitely
that's definitely a postulate.
would be a postulate game. We also we brought this up. I think I am not willing to award Tech Clemson the Clemsoning label because
No.
I think it's pretty evident Tech's good. So that's not a Clemsoning situation.
And Clemson
right?
didn't lose that game. Tech won it.
Yeah, exactly
and,
right. Exactly right.
And Clemsoning is usually Clemson falls apart. And that didn't happen.
Well, they're slowly doing that. But
Right. But there wasn't like that
Not in the
moment
game,
where they
no.
just weren't executing. And
Yes.
no, it was like Tech was just that good. That was not an inexplicable loss. So no, I agree. That is not that is not Clemsoning.
Okay, just want to make sure we've got to revisit these things and make sure we're current on definitions and occurrences and so another exciting weekend in that respect.
In the spirit of transparency, as the ACC has shown us, that is
Yes. Yes. That's apparently that's going to be a thing. My impression, ESPN broadcast the ACC War Room where people are watching the video replays for officials calls, and we can hear people in that room, in the control room, talking with the referee and going back and forth and switching angles and hearing the discussion. Really, really cool.
Yeah.
And I read in the Athletic that is apparently going to be a thing that the ACC does for the remainder of the season. So, if you're watching an ACC game and you get a look at that and you're wondering, what is going on, that is what's going on.
And turn the sound up on that game. When you see the
Yes,
War Room
do,
and they clearly label it, like it doesn't matter what game you're watching, turn the sound up so you can hear that conversation. It's
cool.
Fascinating.
It is really interesting to see what they work through, what they're discussing.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic addition.
Kudos to you, ACC.
Absolutely. Big boy games. We got them. We have one on Friday and then a few hand selected for you on Saturday as well. Let's start on Friday evening, 8 p.m. On Fox. A game only a Big Ten fan could love. Iowa at Rutgers. The Hawks are favored on the road by 2.5 points. The AJ Fun Index. I don't think this was the lowest one of the weekend, but it's down there. 45.5 points. Carla, Kirk Ferentz is just took the place, just supplanted Woody Hayes as the winningest coach in Big Ten history. Does that streak continue?
I don't know. This is a big boy game only because the boys playing are big. It's the Big Ten.
We call this large. We call this a large boy game, baby.
Large
I don't
boy
know.
game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. This is a large boy game because this is only a game that a Big Ten fan would love. Like this is a game to me that it's being played too early in the season because this to me feels like a put a pot of chili on the stove when you get home from work, scoop out some chili, sit in front of your TV with a blanket.
Can I have some cornbread?
Cornbread.
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
Like comfort food.
Yes.
Warm, cozy, and just watch two teams just beat the living daylights out of each other because that's what this game is going to be. 45.5 is the fun index. Hammer the heck out of that under. The Iowa offense is like, I know they put up a bunch of points last weekend, but like one, it was against UMass. But two, like Gronowski still, like
Yeah. A little more yardage, but not.
Yeah, it's just and we talked about that ad nauseum last week. That like this doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense why he's not clicking in the Iowa offense. Rutgers, remarkably, has been putting up a boatload of points.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be like the immovable force equation that we're talking about. Like what happens here when you have a really good offense going up against a defense that just flat out doesn't allow points. So yeah, hammer the heck out of that under. Rutgers playing at home, they've got a chance here. The score indicator or the probability win indicator on ESPN actually, even though the line is Iowa is favored, Rutgers actually has the higher indicator.
Yeah.
And I get it when you look at the stats. If Gronowski can't get anything at all going, Rutgers wins this game at home. Because I think they can score enough points to, it's not going to take that many points to keep Iowa at bay.
Nope.
First team to 20 wins. I mean, yeah.
That could be
Rutgers. What the heck?
Okay. I keep in trying to assess what Rutgers is this year. I keep coming back to that first game where OU went out to New Jersey and should have come away with a win. So I'm not sure. They've been scoring like crazy. So that is a thing. Shiano defense is giving up a decent 19 points a game. That compares with the Hawkeyes, who are giving up, I think, just under 10. That defense is going to have its work cut out for it because clearly, once again, Iowa does not apparently have the answer that it was looking for at quarterback. He has in 3 games. This is a champion FCS quarterback. He has just 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. I'm skeptical about Rutgers, given what I have seen when I sat down and really watched. I'm skeptical about Iowa, but Iowa is the team that wins these games.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I would say take the Hawkeyes. And as you said, Carla, take the under because 45 points. No, it's not happening. We take you to Saturday, where there is a legit big game on Big Nude. This, of course, is on the fabulous Fox Network. Number 17, Texas Tech at number 16, Utah. The Utes, as we call them, are favored by 3.5 points. The AJ Fun Index is a borderline fun 58.5. How's this one going to go?
Yeah, both these teams have been putting up points, y'all, which that's something we've come to expect from Texas Tech, but it feels very, very odd to be saying that about Utah. Right? We've joked for a long time that Utah has been the Big Ten team in the wrong conference, right? That just that they're the ground and pound it out, and like that's the style of play that we are used to seeing from Utah. But Devin Dampier, remember, AJ touted him at the beginning of the season, and AJ was right. The New Mexico transfer, Dampier and his offense are 13th in the nation in scoring right now. The Utah Utes, 13th in the nation. Just let that sink in, okay? Because that's one of those things that like does not compute. On the other side of the ball, both of these teams are playing solid defense, which again is a normal thing to say about Utah, but not so much for Texas Tech. We joked for a long time that Texas Tech is all gas, no brakes, right? No defense. Red Raiders are 15th in the country in total defense. 15th. Like, that's remarkable in 3 games. Utah tied for 11th. So they're right there. So both these teams, they're putting up points and they've got good defenses. Not exactly what we would have expected entering this game. Utah still runs first. They're still leading with their ground game.
Yep.
Texas Tech is second in the nation in rush defense. Texas Tech still throws the ball around. Utah is 20th in the country in pass defense. So, right? So is this game going to be a fireworks factory or is it going to be a low scoring affair?
Don't know.
I don't know. But what I do know is that this game's going to be an absolute delight to watch.
Yeah.
Just wait to tune in until the ball actually kicks. Okay. Don't turn it over early. Just wait until you see kickoff and then flip over. I'll give the slight edge, I think, to Utah here because they're playing at home.
Okay.
But this is the game that I'm just like, I really have no idea how this is going to play out.
Right.
It's going to be fascinating to watch. It's the best game by far at noon. So put this game on your TV and let's see what happens in the Big 12. Yep. If the Big 12 buffet holds up, Texas Tech will win. Otherwise, Utah wins at home.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. I was interested in this game for two kind of off-season, sort of post-last season kind of things. Number one, I've been a fan of Kyle Willingham for a long time because he's a Big Ten coach.
Yeah.
Never coached in the Big Ten, as far as I know. But he runs a Big Ten style program in the lovely Wasatch Mountains in Salt Lake City. It is physical. It is good defense. It is run first, and it has served him well. I think. You most of the time when you put that up against a typical Big 12 offense, that Utah's going to win that game because they're going to beat the crap out of the other team and wear them down and win the game with physicality. Did not do that last year.
Yeah.
Had a rare down season, a year ago. So I'm really curious to see, is Utah going to rebound from that? You may recall that there were some whiny SEC people who complained about Ohio State spending $20 million on players during the national championship season. I did not look up the number, but apparently Texas Tech has found a benefactor and has spent even more on this year's payroll. Can we call it a payroll?
Sure.
And they brought in a lot of talent, and it is evident not so much on the offensive side of the ball because the Red Raiders are doing what they usually do on the offensive side of the ball. As you mentioned, they're playing defense. So this is a different kind of thing, and I was curious what is Texas Tech going to look like when the season gets going, especially when they get in conference play, because this is an interesting sort of experiment to see how far you stretch NIL and can you put together a superstar team like that and have it be effective in the course of 1 year. Maybe we'll find out. It looks like the Utah has rebounded with the 3-0 start. You mentioned Devin Dampier, who is playing really, really well.
Yeah.
Tech racking up 600 yards and 58 points a game. Whew.
Fun and gun, baby. Fun and gun is back.
I did. Yeah, absolutely. I just don't have a handle. Both offenses are good. Both defenses are good. So I don't know when you push and pull and try to sort this out. I'm going to give Kyle Willingham and Utah an edge, a slight edge at home, and kind of particularly with Utah's defense versus Texas Tech's offense. This is a matchup that probably everyone is comfortable with because that has been the MO for both teams. So I think at home and that sort of comfortable matchup for the Utes, I think that's going to translate to a win. But this is going to be a fun game. So and one of the more important Big 12 games of the year, which is an odd thing to be saying in September. At 3:30 on the American Broadcasting Company, number 22, Auburn at number 11, Oklahoma. The Sooners are favored by 6.5 points. The AJ Fun Index, not fun, 48.5. Carla, what do you think?
Yeah, so, okay, I'm going to put on my slight Big Ten bandwagoner here.
Yes,
here for just a moment.
Do it.
Like, can we slow our roll just a little bit with the Tigers? Like, okay, I get it. Auburn's 3-0. They have a nice road win at Baylor. But, like, I'm not sold yet. Like, this is an Auburn team that has been garbage the last 2 years.
Yes.
Are they really the number 22 team in the country? Like, I'm not sold yet. This, however, is a game where they could convince me that they're a legit contender in the SEC.
Okay.
If they come
That's
out
fair.
and they play this and they play well in this game, even if they don't win the game, if they are competitive and they give Oklahoma a run here, then I'll be like, okay, Auburn, maybe you're back into the mix. But until I see something against legitimate competition, because I'm not sure I count Baylor yet. We're not sure what Baylor is.
Right.
I don't count Baylor yet. Let's see how they play in the first couple of games of the SEC schedule, because yes, friends, this is an SEC game. Don't forget that. Oklahoma, on the other hand, like, they're looking like they actually might be able to stir things up in the SEC this year.
Yes.
I wish I could remember who posted this. And I dug through my blue sky earlier today and couldn't find the post. I couldn't remember, and it was frustrating because I couldn't remember who posted it. But somebody posted this idea that there is legit momentum that John Mateer may actually steal the quarterback spotlight from Arch Manning in the SEC. And
so
that,
far.
right? And the Oklahoma, if they had to pick Red River right now, they would pick Oklahoma. Because the way Mateer is playing. And that Oklahoma offense.
That's not a bad pick at this point.
It's not a bad pick. No,
Yeah.
I tend to agree with the assessment. Manning and that Texas defense or Texas offense hasn't gotten rolling yet.
Nope.
Mateer in the Oklahoma offense absolutely has. Like, the John Mateer experiment in Oklahoma is absolutely 100% working. Oklahoma right now looks like a more complete team than Texas does. Sooners are playing at home in this game. To me, this is an Oklahoma win, and we bring Auburn back down to earth. But we'll see how this game actually plays out. But on paper, this is a big-time Oklahoma win to me. I think Oklahoma makes a statement on national television.
Okay.
Sooners at home.
Okay. You mentioned Baylor. That was a road win in week one for Auburn. Not a masterpiece, but the 38-24. So, okay, fun game. Then they have wins over Ball State and South Alabama. The South Alabama game it's actually kind of similar to Ohio State and OU last weekend. 31-15. So not like, oh my God, look at Auburn. We're like, ew, what is Auburn doing? And then if it doesn't tell you enough, and it doesn't really, we're going to find out. Oklahoma followed by at Texas A&M versus Georgia versus Missouri. At least a couple of these games are at home. That's not. It's not like a Florida level death march, but that's rough.
Yeah.
If you're not an Auburn fan, I think you look at the next month and you go, well, yeah, okay, we'll talk to you guys in a little bit.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but for this weekend, at least with the way Mateer looks, Oklahoma's defense played well against a talented but inexperienced quarterback at Michigan, and as you said, at home, Sooners will win this one, and we will find out about Auburn starting on Saturday and for the next few days. Also at 3:30 on CBS. 21, number 21 Michigan at unranked Nebraska. The Weasels are favored by 2.5 points. The AJ Fun Index is 45.5. Again, that is a solid Big Ten number.
Yes, it is.
What do you think about the Weasels and the Huskers?
So, okay, Matt Rule, here it is.
Exactly.
We're serving it up on a platter for you. You need a win over a ranked national name conference opponent. We offer you the Michigan Wolverines. Look, I'm being a little silly here, but not really, right? We've talked about this.
Yeah.
Like Matt Rule really needs this win. Michigan's offense looked bad in Norman. Now, yes, last week Michigan rolled a directional, whatever. But if Bryce Underwood looks as unsettled as he did against Oklahoma, this is a prime opportunity for Nebraska to pick up a signature win at home.
Yep.
Dylan Raiola is young. He's the starting quarterback for Nebraska. But he's completing 76% of his passes.
He's just he started as a true freshman. He had the entire 2024 season to gain experience. He needed that time. But you can see what he has done to step up his game. Just with that one season under his belt.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so they had that like interesting win in Arrowhead over Cincinnati, but then like they've played 2 cupcakes. But like he's putting the pieces together. 8 TDs, no picks. I'll be honest, I'm a little bullish on the Huskers here. Like I think this is a statement opportunity for Matt Rule to say, no, we are back. We are back in the national spotlight. This is the highlighted game, the Big Ten game, right? At 3:30. And if they can go out and win this football game, it really looks like Rule is putting something together. He's building something again at Nebraska that could annoy the heck of us, annoy the heck out of us for the rest, in the Big Ten. Just like we have annoying Bert. Nebraska was always annoying. Nebraska was always that meddler, that annoying 9-3 Nebraska, right? And they might be back, friends. I'm going to go ahead and just say I'm picking the Huskers outright. I think Nebraska wins this football game at home and finally gets that signature win and gets Matt Rule off the hot seat. Now, if Nebraska loses this game, Matt Rule is in big time trouble. He is in big time trouble if they lose this football game because this is a perfect matchup for them. But I think he gets it done. Nebraska wins at home.
It was a different era of college football, like a different eon, basically. I remember when Nebraska was not just annoying. I remember when Nebraska was terrifying.
Yeah.
You want to see a team look like some of the old 1970s Oklahoma Nebraska games, and just wishboning each other to death. And Nebraska, they were so big and physical. Backs are fast and so efficient. And then, they pound you and pound you and pound you. And then someone like Comic Break just like zoop, pitches ball over the top and scores. And just, again, different era. Different
Nebraska in the early 90s. Like that was...
It's not all that long ago. This time, it's an interesting parallel because Bryce Underwood, in a lot of ways, is where Dylan Raiola was at this point last year. And as I said, Dylan Raiola started as a true freshman. Matt Rule is just like, okay, kid, we are riding with you. And they enjoyed his talents and suffered through his inexperience. And he has clearly made progress to a new level in 2025. So you can see Bryce Underwood doing the same thing, trying to figure it out. Did not look good against Oklahoma. If Nebraska's defense, if the black shirts are back, the Michigan's offense could suffer a similar thing. And one of their starting guy seems like he's been starting on the offensive line for 5 or 6 years, is unable to play this week. That's not helpful. The other thing, and as you mentioned, Matt Rule, and we've talked about this already this season. He's in his 3rd year. In his college jobs, his 3rd year has always been the breakthrough year. I see no reason why we shouldn't expect that this time around. His quarterback's better. His team has been together for a while. I'm sticking with the notion that the Huskers and Matt Rule and Dylan Raiola will take that big step this season, and they're going to start with a win over the Weasels on Saturday. At 7 p.m. on ESPN, South Carolina, the newly unranked South Carolina Gamecocks, are at number 23, Missouri. The Tigers are favored by 11.5. The AJ Fund Index is 47.5. We don't know what's going on with the quarterback. They got crushed at home by Vanderbilt. Gamecocks are not at a good spot in this one.
No, they're not. And, had you told me at the beginning of the season that Mizzou would enter this game ranked and South Carolina not, I probably would have laughed, right? But here we are. Welcome to week 4, friends. That's the big question, right? Will Sellers be available in this game?
Yeah.
We're recording this on Tuesday. We don't know.
I
You
did
know,
not realize this until just today. This is the first season of the SEC has mandated injury reports, NFL style injury reports. Unfortunately for us, the first release doesn't come until Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah.
So we'll see.
And we did get information today from Shane Beamer, who said that he was optimistic, and that's courtesy of the Greenville News, by the way. So always cite your sources, friends. Greenville News reported on Monday that Shane Beamer was optimistic that Sellers would be able to play on Saturday. They have not officially confirmed whether or not it was an actual concussion or whether they were keeping him out for precautionary reasons. But what we do know is once Sellers left the game last weekend, South Carolina was dead offensively. They had nothing, right? And so that is a huge situation that we need to pay attention to here, because if Sellers isn't available, right? Like, why that matters. In many ways, Mizzou actually resembles Vandy.
Okay.
But with the addition of like a legit ground game. Missouri's the 5th best rush offense in the nation.
Ooh.
They've got a double-headed running back situation, not all that dissimilar. This is why Bo Pribula fits so well into that Mizzou offense, and why I was really excited when he went there, even though I was sad to lose him. Because he's got the double-headed running backs, just like he would have had at Penn State, except the names of these backs are Ahmad Hardy and Jamal Roberts. Like, they're already putting up big numbers, the two of them. And we know that Pribula can legit ball because we saw him do that in the border war, right? South Carolina's going to run in the same buzzsaw situation that they ran into against Vandy, especially if they don't have Sellers and they can't stop a ground game. Mizzou wins this game at home.
I would be. Actually, no, I take that back. I'm confident enough. Even if Sellers is playing, I'm not sure that this is. I don't think this is going to be a good day for South Carolina. Something I did not know, just again looking at the numbers, reading up a little bit. They had late in the game, an offensive coordinator from South Carolina left to go to Appy, and Mike Shula stepped in as the offensive coordinator for the Gamecocks. Transition has not been going well so far. Listen to this. This is I pulled this directly from CBSSports.com, the website of champions. I don't know.
Sure.
South Carolina is at or near the bottom in the SEC in total offense, scoring offense, rushing offense, third down conversions, red zone conversions, and sacks allowed.
Wow.
If Sellers is playing, he is good enough that I would have to say that South Carolina has a chance. If Sellers is not playing, no, they have none. And and really what I'm saying here, I don't think either way. South Carolina is going to leave Columbia, Missouri, with a win, and then they have to go back to Columbia, South Carolina. Missouri is I think Missouri is the clear pick here at 7:30 on the National Broadcasting Company. Another early season. This is a lot like the Big Noon game. We have a very, very early season conference matchup that could end up telling us a fair amount. Number 9, Illinois, Burt Ball, ladies and gentlemen, at number 19, Indiana. The Hoosiers are favored by 5.5 points. And the AJ Fun Index is 53.5. I can't wait for this one.
Yeah.
We've hinted, is Burt back? Is Burt Ball back? Number one, I suspect it is. And number two, we're going to see a healthy dose of it one way or the other on Saturday night.
Yeah, it's going to help us sort out a lot as to what's really going on in the Big Ten this year.
Yep.
And goodness, when you looked at the team leaders in the offensive categories on the ESPN Gamecast page for this game, like they're identical in every category.
Just like off by like 5 yards.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally like it's just like they're mirror images of each other. If that's the only stat line that you look at is what they present out there as the team leaders, right? So like, which one of these teams or both of these teams like legit contenders in the conference this year? I think we're really gonna get some sorting out in this one. You can make a pretty good case that Illinois has the better win on their schedule so far this year on the road at Duke. But Indiana opened their season with a win against Old Dominion, which suddenly looks way more impressive after what Old Dominion did last week to Virginia Tech.
Great point.
They're neck and neck defensively. Indiana defends the pass a little bit better. Illinois is a little bit better at defending the run. The one place where I see differentiation here is on offense. The Hoosiers are racking up yards. Almost 600 per game. They're the leading rush offense in the Big Ten. Hear that, friends? Above Ohio State, above Penn State. You're right now in week 4. Your top rushing team in the Big Ten is Indiana. They're 4th in the conference in passing. Like, Indiana's got an offense. Illinois' offensive numbers are nowhere close to those.
No.
Right? But remember, it's Burt. That surprises nobody.
That is not Burt ball. That is it just is not.
So when it came time to pick this, like this is I don't know, right? Because we really don't know. We really don't know out of these two teams. This game is going to tell us a lot. So I'm picking here with a little bit of my fandom and my heart in mind. Which of these teams would I rather see be successful this season?
Okay.
And to me, that question is easy. That's Indiana.
Okay.
Having a good Indiana is fun. Having a good Burt is annoying. Hoosiers, go win this game at home, please.
I can't argue with that. I'm going to try. I'm going to try, but I can't. I mean,
like having listened to the Indiana, like the announcers calling the games at home last year when Indiana made its remarkable run, going like, we don't know what's happening either.
What's going on? What's going on?
I want more of that in my life this year.
Okay, totally fair.
Gotcha. So Indiana, please go win this one so that we can take a little bit of the pressure off of Burt Ball, please. Please.
If you're a Big Ten fan, I absolutely 100% guarantee I am pointing at the camera at some point between the conclusion of last year's season and the start of this one. You thought to yourself, was Indiana for real?
Yeah.
And this is, we're going to find out. Last year, I don't want to say no, but they racked up big numbers against a lot of bad teams, including in the conference. When they were not playing bad teams, they struggled. Burt, I think maybe he has completed the conversion of Illinois into full Burt Ball mode. He's got the perfect quarterback in Lute Altmaier, who is not going to throw for a zillion yards. He's going to hand the ball off, and he's going to take advantage of shots downfield when they come up. The quarterback matchup here is really interesting. Hi, Charlie, because Fernando Mendoza, who went from growing up in Miami to Cal, Berkeley, and then to the Midwest inexplicably to play for Kurt Signetti, has been playing really, really well. Both, and as you mentioned, both offenses are humming. Big numbers for Indiana. Not the same for Illinois, but that's not what Burt is looking for. I still wonder. Kurt Signetti brought in more than 20 game transfers, or player transfers, between last season and this one. I had to remove the cat because I couldn't see my notes.
That's the best. That's the best appearance from Charlie we've had in a while.
He's been. He made one very brief appearance, I think, in week 1, and then we haven't seen him. So
yeah,
I don't know what is up with him, but he's right there. So how hard is it to put together to find the continuity when you do that? It worked for him last year. Worked for Signetti last year, for sure. I'm going to give Illinois a tiny edge because they largely are this group has been together for a couple of years. It's going to be tough. That atmosphere is going to be absolutely insane because Indiana fans are still just completely delirious about being able to cheer for football. It's a night game. They have all day to air quotes prepare, and this will be a fun game to watch. And if you're a Big Ten fan, I think pretty much mandatory that you take this one in. Boys and girls, you can hear the Carla and Crappy Show on Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, and a variety of other podcasting hosts. You can watch us on YouTube and or on the show's Facebook page. You can read us on our Substack. If you like us, please subscribe, rate, and review. If you don't, mind your own damn business. Be sure to come back next week. I was super wrong last weekend. We'll see how it goes this weekend. But you want to come back and find out exactly how wrong we were. Carla, any final thoughts from you?
Sure, just a couple quick things. I mean, we've already noted that both of our teams are off, so we have nothing to talk about in that regard. Other fandoms, we'll do them in chronological order.
Okay.
AJ isn't here to back me up on this.
All right.
But as we've noted, particularly last week when we talked about West Virginia playing the Carla and Crappy Show, AJ and I are both alums of Robert Morris University. The Robert Morris University. And back when we were in school, the game that is happening this week at Jowa is the game.
Explain Jowa, please.
Joe Walton Stadium. Named after
that is the Joe Walton.
The Joe Walton, yes. If you're familiar with the New York Jets, Joe Walton, yeah, same guy. Yep. He founded the football program at Robert Morris. Nicest guy on the face of the planet. He was. I could tell you all kinds of Joe Walton stories. Having been student journalist, I had Joe Walton's cell phone number, which is fun.
Nice.
To be able to talk to him for things, But yeah, at Joe Walton Stadium at 2 p.m. Eastern. The game is also televised on ESPN Plus. So if you are not local, you can watch this game if you have an ESPN Plus subscription. Okay. Dayton at Robert Morris. Ooh. This was the game back in the day because Dayton and Robert Morris did not like each other, and both were very highly ranked in the somewhat fictional back when we had 1AA non-scholarship.
I remember those days.
That was a division.
Yes.
Robert Morris won 2 somewhat mythical, but apparently legit because we had T-shirts, back-to-back national championships out of 1AA non-scholarship.
Merch makes it official. I mean, ask UCF.
Yeah, exactly. I still have the long sleeve T-shirt because I love it because it's so retro and it's fantastic. Right. But yeah, no, Dayton was the game we got up for. Like there were 2 games every year that we got up for because Dayton was always right up there with us and like 1-2, whatever. The other game was Wagner. The Wagner game was always wacky every year.
Okay.
But yeah, back in the in the late 90s, early 2000s, Dayton and Robert Morris simply did not like each other in football. They've been reunited now that Robert Morris has moved back to the NEC, even though they're still not in the same conference, but they still play each other much more frequently now.
Same level.
This game is always feisty. If you've got a spot in your ESPN quad box on Saturday in that mid-afternoon slot, put this game on. It's going to be really fun. Obviously, the game that I will actually be attending Marshall at MTSU. That game's at 7 Eastern on ESPN Plus. Yes, our friend Jake Rose gets the homecoming game,
Yes.
which is fantastic. That game's on ESPN Plus. Marshall's only favored by 2.5, friends. Like, this is a
Within
game.
reach.
It is within reach, especially with the way they played at Nevada. Pay attention to this game. You might see me. My college is actually being recognized during this game. It's the new Scott Borchetta College of Media and Entertainment.
Nice.
We are being recognized on the field, so you may actually see me on the field at some point during this game.
Can you wear a goofy hat or something so we can find you?
Maybe we're all going to be holding. This is actually a really cool thing. I don't know if she listens to the show or not, but hi Regan. Regan is one of my students. She is running for homecoming queen.
Nice.
And it would be our first ever interactive media homecoming queen.
Oh,
so,
that'd be awesome.
So we are pulling real hard for Regan to be crowned on Saturday night. But even if she's not, we're printing out pictures of her face and taking it with us to the stadium. So Regan for homecoming queen. Look for me at the game. I'll figure something out. Maybe I'll wear like a pink bow or something, or like maybe I'll tie a pink scarf around my neck or something. Like I don't know. I'll figure something out so that you can try to see me. Look for me under the goalposts during the beginning of the game because I'll probably be hanging out in the beer garden before.
That's good. You're hanging out in the bar, aren't you?
Yeah. The beer garden's where the be,
nice.
friends.
Nice.
We don't have a luxury suite this time. Normally we get a luxury suite for this game. We didn't get one, so we're all gonna be in the beer garden. And we'll be there until the students show up, and then we all leave. we stock up on the good beer and then leave.
That's a good plan.
It's a great plan. So look for me on that game. And then this one has nothing to do with my personal fandoms, although I guess I am adopting them now. But
okay,
your number 20 Vanderbilt Commodores.
We are all adopting Vanderbilt. There's no question.
Down. I don't know if I'm doing this right. Vandy friends, correct me. I think that's Anchor Down. It's VU.
Okay.
VU.
We're doing weird hand gestures that may or may not be allowed to be on TV.
I think that's VU.
We'll fight
Emma, correct me. Anyhow, Vanderbilt has a unique opportunity this week. I don't know if anybody remembers this. This is Georgia State at number 20 Vanderbilt. This game's at 7:30 Eastern on ESPNU. This was the game last year that Vandy very inexplicably lost on the road. Like Diego and Vandy was getting going, and then they went to Georgia State and they lost that game, and we were like, oh no, what's happening? And Vandy almost lost a bowl game because of the loss to Georgia State. I have a hunch that the Panthers will have Vandy's full attention this time. Because of that, but that's one to keep an eye on, and it'll be a fun one. And it'll be interesting to see how full First Bank Stadium is. Now that it's another opponent at home without a super huge fan base. So I'll be really curious to see, can Vandy pack a stadium again at home? I think they can. Doors win at home.
Go see Vandy.
Go see Vandy. Yeah.
Go Blue Raiders. Go Regan. We are pulling for you. Last weekend, in the lovely Oakland neighborhood of Pittsburgh, the Carnegie Mellon Tartans got waxed at home by Wisconsin lacrosse. Final score was 38-14. Carnegie Mellon dropped in the rankings from, I don't remember off the top of my head, it was 17-ish down to 20th. They can bounce back on Saturday, again at home. But there's another tough non-conference game, this time against the 22nd ranked Berry College Vikings from Berry something in Georgia. So we'll see how that goes. Go Tartans. My Bobcats, they are playing some guy named Gardner Webb. I'm not sure what Mr. Webb did to irritate my alma mater's football team, but this doesn't seem like a fair fight. I think it's probably safe to say that the march to world domination for the Ohio Bobcats begins with this game. So we will see how that goes. Boys and girls, thank you once again for joining us for another show, another week, another season, all of that stuff. We appreciate you reading, watching, listening, all of the things. Carla, thank you.
Yes, thank you as always.
AJ, thank you for being here even when you can't be here. And guys, it's another great football weekend is coming. Watch your school, watch other schools. There's good stuff up and down the dial, and then come back here next week because we're going to be talking about it. Cheers, everybody. Have a great weekend. We will see you back here next week.
Cheers.